What's up guys, Aaron Bennett here. In this video, going over two topics. The first, a story from Financial Times, as you can see right here. Celsius Network founder Alex Mashinsky withdrew $10 million ahead of the bankruptcy. I'm going to go over that, let you guys know what I think about it. Is it true? Is it not? Does it freaking matter right now? And the second thing I want to talk about is a Twitter exchange going back between Simon and SBF Sam Bankman-Fried of FTX, and explain to you what I think could possibly happen if FTX does buy our assets, which are now essentially for sale. There is a bidding process like I talked about and I think 2 days ago. So this story from Financial Times was reported by Kadeem, and let me just go through the story really quickly, let you guys know what I think. So essentially, Alex withdrew $10 million of crypto just weeks before the company froze assets. But here it says, very important, according to people familiar with the matter. And I'll come back to that later in the video because this is very important. Here in the article, it says details of Alex's transactions are set to be submitted in court by Celsius in the coming days as part of a broader disclosure by the company of its financial affairs. So remember, the independent examiner was just appointed, and this person is very, very capable of looking into everything, and Celsius will be releasing all of these documents. Take a look at what David Adler said about this. He says insider transactions need to be disclosed on the Statement of Financial Affairs, which is filed with the schedules. I wonder when those docs will be filed. So what David's talking about is the schedules of assets and liabilities, that document that was supposed to be sent to us and disclosed, I think, months ago, but they keep postponing it. So I will just note that they have not sent that to us. So there is no rush and no need to file a claim right now. So once that happens, then we will file a claim if there is a discrepancy. So going back to the article, it says a spokesperson for Alex said he and his family still had $44 million of crypto still frozen with Celsius even after the withdrawals, which he had voluntarily disclosed to the UCC in the bankruptcy proceedings. So this spokesperson said in mid to late May 2022, so this is going to be before the freeze, Alex withdrew a percentage of crypto in his account, much of which was used to pay state and federal taxes. In the 9 months leading up to the withdrawal, he consistently deposited crypto in amounts that totaled what he withdrew in May. Here it says around $8 million of the assets that Alex withdrew was used to cover taxes that arose from income the assets had generated on Celsius, one of the people familiar with the matter said. So did Alex take money out before the freeze? This will all be looked at heavily by the examiner and by the UCC. None of this will get past anybody. So it's very important that even though this stirs up emotion in people, this is very sensationalistic and a great headline to get a lot of clicks and views, none of this will get past the examiner. None of this will actually just slide under the rug and nobody will know what happened. All of this will be scrutinized and evaluated. So what I now want to focus on is what really matters right now, because whatever Alex did, again, that will get sorted out. What I want to focus on is right here, this little back and forth between Simon Dixon and SBF, Sam Bankman-Fried responded. So what Simon said is right now SBF is raising financing at a $32 billion valuation in order to buy the assets that Alex scammed from us. What do you think he is pitching to his investors? I'm about to get billions of dollars of assets for cents on the dollar. Do you want in? Now Simon has been saying for weeks that these are our assets. So essentially the mining company, GK8, and all the other companies that we're discovering that Celsius may have used our funds to buy. Simon is saying that these are our assets and these should not be sold for pennies on the dollar just because we are in a bear market and because the estate recently said, hey, we're open to selling our assets. Simon says these are our assets. SBF says, to be clear, in Voyager, our bids are generally determined by fair market price. No discounts. The goal is not to make money buying assets at cents on the dollar. It's to pay $1 on the $1 and get back $1 to customers. If we were to get involved in Celsius, it would be the same thing. So Simon responded, are you up for discussing a plan to make up the difference with equity? Simon, again, has always been talking about equity. That's what he helped do with Bitfinex. Simon says, I have some ideas that will make the community very happy with the deal. DM me, this has really impacted many people's lives, which it definitely clearly has. And before I end the video, I want to quickly read through Simon's latest Twitter thread. He said, "Let me try to bring it back to the basics. Celsius Network has billions of dollars of assets that belong to creditors. Bank to the Future, that's Simon's company, makes a best effort commitment to comply with securities laws." That is very true. They have been complying with these securities laws for years. Salt Lending, which Simon is trying to buy or has purchased, or basically they are in the works to purchase, makes a best effort commitment to comply with lending laws. So you have securities laws with Bank to the Future and lending laws with Salt Lending. Two things that most likely Celsius did not have up to par. They were not complying with all the laws. Here he says, "There is a billion stuck on the app. There is a hole. Some creditors are willing to invest into a management team that want to build something potentially big and compliant, but other people want out. External investors want to buy our assets cheap and won't try to make us whole." And that again goes back to what SBF basically said right here. They are buying the assets at a fair market price. Simon then says later in this thread, "If we get it wrong, our assets end up being owned by SBF or sold at the bottom in Chapter 7. Celsius UCC, you can plug this together with Sean Owen. He is the CEO of Salt Lending, and also myself. We are dedicated to working with the Celsius Network board or yourselves to make it happen." So Simon ends this thread saying, "Will regulators let us down if we unite and create a compliant creditor-led plan that we believe makes us whole? Can we coordinate a plan together? Can we stop arguing and start building? Can we make history and change finance and bankruptcy? I want to give it my best. Do you?" So that's what I want to end this video on. So we started out with a story from Financial Times saying that Alex sold a bunch of crypto right before they froze withdrawals. And again, the source is according to people familiar with the matter. So it's important not to get worked up and get overly emotional because it's very easy to. There's a lot of animosity towards Alex and this just adds to the fire, right? But this will all, again, get worked out in court and you don't have to worry about this. This will all get sorted out. It doesn't matter right now. What matters is what Simon is saying and figuring out a plan to make us whole. It's the only thing I care about, and that's what I am hopeful in. Simon is smart as hell. He is way smarter than me, and he has so much experience with this, and I hope that he and the UCC can work together and make sure that the UCC does not approve a plan from a predatory company that maybe just wants our assets for cheap. I am really hopeful that Simon and also the heads of these ad hoc committees, like we have David Adler, the law firms that are leading these ad hocs with custody, with hold, with loans, etc., and they all work together to get a plan to make us whole, guys. I really want to encourage you, if you are in this negative, depressed state because of all of this, to take a break if you want. And I personally am going to be much more optimistic and positive, not to cherry coat it, not to, be like a Pollyanna, but because there could be a very, very good solution at the end of this, something way better than what's talked about and what is usually shared on YouTube. So that is it, guys. Thanks for watching, and until next time, talk with you soon, and bye for now.